We're back at the scene of the crime, Houghton, Michigan. 1 month ago, the Professional Walleye Trail was here with their World Championship. I took second place, you know, first place loser. To tell the truth, I wanted to find out how good this fishery was in the fall. We're in for a heck of a teaching show. Welcome to the next bite. Got him.
You got him?
Yep. Oh, get that, baby. Yeah! Get it. There we go. Whoa.
To be a successful professional walleye fisherman, you have to be pretty competitive. Fishing against the cream of the crop on the tournament trail requires an angler to be at the top of his game at all times.
Got him.
Even when just fishing for fun, the competitive fire still burns deep within a successful pro.
I got one, Dad. I got one.
You got one?
Yep.
Witness what happened when top touring walleye angler Gary Parsons took his son Chase fishing at Michigan's Keweenaw Waterway last fall.
Oh, yeah! I got the kid down and I'm pummeling him.
It seems like father enjoys a little competitive ribbing with his young partner.
We're going back to the scene of the crime, the place where I almost did it. We're gonna go back up to where the championship was and give it a try. I want to see what those fish are doing later in the fall here. We're gonna go redeem ourselves up there this weekend. Take me to the fish.
Dad, we got one. We got one.
Is it a good one? Staying down.
Staying down a little better now. Let me get my other line. I can see it.
It's like a walleye.
It's a walleye.
It's a walleye. Got one. There you go, buddy. Typical spinnerfish. Pretty decent size, about 2 pounds.
Yeah.
A little bit more. There you go, buddy. Got him.
How does he feel, Dad?
Ah, not too bad. Stay right on the trolling motor here.
Looks like it's straight underneath the boat, huh?
Yeah. Yeah, I think he swam in my other line. Ready, Chase?
Yep.
There he is. Get him down!
It is in the other line.
Something was kind of weird there.
Gary and Chase are trolling spinners tipped with night crawlers on bottom-bouncing rigs. They're concentrating their efforts on a long tapering flat that contains subtle sunken humps. Gary knows these humps serve as important fish holding structure, and he makes sure he trolls near them as much as possible.
Chase, I got a bite here. Oh, got him. Hey, I got him. Yep, he feels like a pretty decent one, too.
It's an eater. It's got to be an eater. How big is it? You're feeding line to it.
Ooh, he's a fatty. A little fatty. They are eating something big time down there. It's kind of like you at McDonald's.
Yeah, it is.
You realize that if I'd had this fish the last day of the championship, I'd have won $75,000 more dollars?
That's the way it goes. There he goes.
There's actually 2 ways to set up your rods and stagger them when you're fishing with this trolling motor and dragging technique with the bouncers. The way that we're fishing here today is I've got 2 short handheld rods. They're actually 6.5-foot rods that Keith and I designed for Bass Pro. They're lightweight, easy to hold on to, your wrists don't get too tired. And then Chase is using 2 8.5-foot dead sticks. They're called dead sticks. They've got real limber tips. They're designed to put in rod holders. And what it does is I'm covering a small swat, narrow swat, because I'm hand holding, and then he's actually got 25 feet of distance in between each one of his rods. Between the 2 of us, we're covering all different paths with our lines, although if the fish can see for any distance, I've got the advantage because I'm running the trolling motor. My lines go by him first. Holographic spinner blade bites again. That's a pretty decent one there. Ooh, you almost had to stretch yourself right out of the boat there,
Almost.
buddy.
I got it.
Why'd you get him for me? That's a pretty nice fish. Can you get it, Chase, or do you need a pliers?
I got it. There we go.
Boy, they're fat, huh?
Yeah, they're fat. pretty fish too.
Yeah, they really are.
There he goes.
Hey Chase, what is that now? 4-1?
No, it's 3-1.
3-1?
You always exaggerate.
Whoops, wait. This bite here will probably make it 4.
Are you serious?
I got it. How's it feel to be smoked by the old man?
How's it feel?
I don't know, like a little walleye. Oh, there he is. Ah, yes. Why is it so easy when it doesn't count? They're all like carbon copies of the same
Yeah,
size,
they are.
aren't they? There you go, little guy. Got him. Tell ya, I got the hot rod. It's always the one underneath the boat.
How's it feel?
It feels like a 16 to 18 incher. Here he comes. Ooh, that's a nicer one. That's a pretty nice fish, eh?
Yeah, it is.
Whew.
They are fat, aren't they?
Oh, they are really fat. Holy moly. That is a nice fish.
I think I know what the problem is. Keith always told me that if you're not catching a fish and other people are, you're holding your mouth wrong.
Is that it?
So maybe if I go something like that.
Yeah, no wonder your Uncle Keith has so many different faces. He changes them every 5 minutes, so he's always catching some fish. Uh-oh, I got one on my other rod here too. Chase, wanna grab it?
Sure.
You got it?
Yep.
Is it on there yet?
Will you tell me what I did? What did I do wrong there?
Touched it.
I touched it. That's exactly right. I should have left it under you and started reeling. Oh.
That was funny.
Yeah, it was real funny.
There's one. He's just hanging on there. Got him.
You
Got him, Chase. Yep. Again, it's the one that's under the boat. You know, that's always the one that gets the bite. Ooh, I was wrong. He's bigger than a 15-incher. Boy, you are a heck of a netter there, buddy.
I know. Thank you. Been doing a lot of it today. I'm getting my practice.
Nice fish.
That was a little longer.
Huh?
Not quite as fat as the other
Yeah,
ones.
he's not as fat. It's a male.
I am the master netter.
The Real Deal. Straight talk to help make you a better fisherman. Brought to you by Esox Angler Magazine. The Real Deal on muskies, walleyes, and pike.
What we have here is a very, very typical setup for walleye fishing. We've got a very long, gradual, tapered flat from shoreline. And on this flat, most of the local people and most of the people that fish this area will drift across the flat pretty much indiscriminately and hope that they catch a fish. Hope that the wind's blowing in the right direction. Hope that the wind's blowing just the right speed. What we want to try to do is dissect how we catch these fish. And the first thing I'm going to do is take you right to my electronic unit and show you what we've done. This is actually the layout. You got to see the drop-offs right here, and basically here's 29, 30 feet kind of tapering out into deeper water. Let me zoom this in a little bit and show you what we did. Now, most people will just drift indiscriminately across the flat like this. What Chase and I did is we spent some time graphing the area out first, and we found out that there's all kinds of little humps on this flat area. Sometimes there'll be humps, sometimes there'll be clam beds, sometimes there'll be little groups of weeds. Anything that's a little bit different, punch in on your GPS. Essentially what you're doing is dropping a whole bunch of buoys. Now, instead of just drifting across the flat, we're going to use our trolling motor, and we're going to go from X to X to X. And we have the blue ones marked out here. Those were the highest spots. And the neat thing about these little humps is when we were graphing the area out, we would mark a fish or two around on the top or around each one of these little humps. The neat thing about this is that if you find out that there's hot spots, maybe one hump or two humps, or a pattern develops, you'll know it right away. You can follow your plot trails, and actually when you're catching fish, you turn right back around and go back over those spots instead of just drifting, like I said, across the flats. Too many people drift, and they drift and drift and drift. They don't get the right speed down. They don't get the right areas to keep themselves in the productive zone. Let's go up to Chase's unit right now. We've been fishing this area for a little while. We'll show you what happened on his unit. Hey, buddy, I'm going to have you move over a little bit. I want to show the people something, okay? You can see when we started fishing, we were connecting the dots, and we quickly developed a pattern that all the outside humps and ridges were the productive areas, much more so than the inside ridges. So you can see how we've gone back and forth and worked the productive area. Now at the same time we were doing this, a lot of the local people were just drifting across the flat, and we saw very, very few fish being caught. Even later, when the wind started calming down like it is now, they were using their trolling motors, but they were just wandering around aimlessly. We had a plan, and our plan was to find the most productive areas using our GPS, our plot trails, and our depth finders along with our trolling motor, staying on the fish and catching fish after fish after fish. And that's how you become a real good, not only walleye fisherman, but fisherman in general.
Sight Bites, answers to questions from the next bite.
This week we've got a great question from Mark out in Montana. Now Mark wants to know, is there a trick to staying at the right depth when trolling a specific structure in the wind?
You know, one of the things about contour cranking is the fish a lot of times get very active when the wind is blowing into structure. And obviously one of the hard things about the wind blowing like this is boat control, because when you're contour cranking, what you're worried about is controlling your speed and controlling where your lures are. So you're trying to figure out where the contours are and get your lures sweeping right in the right zone. So the last thing you need is for the bow of your boat to be swinging around. So what we've started to do the last couple of years is kind of a dual motor boat control. And what I mean by that is I use my bow mount trolling motor up there to compensate for the wind, and I sit here and I fish with my kicker engine. Now, as far as a bow mount, what you want to look for is some type of an electric steer type system, because when you electric steer, it will lock into a position and hold right there. It won't be wandering around like a cable drive system would be doing. An upgrade to that is to get a motor with a remote control. The nice thing about a remote control is that from the back of the boat here, I can not only control my kicker, but I can also control left, right. I can speed up or slow down that trolling motor up there. This is especially nice if you've got gusty situations. One where there's all of a sudden a bunch of wind, then there's none. There's a bunch, then there's none. So with a remote control, you've got almost the ultimate control with the kicker and that to compensate for the wind, keep you on your structure, keep your speed right, and hopefully catch a lot of walleyes.
There are a lot of great answers to questions just like that on the Next Bite website. Answers, tips, and articles, all to help you get your next bite.
Back to more walleye fishing on Michigan's Keweenaw Waterway.
I got one, Dad. I got one.
You got one?
Yep.
Does it feel like a good one?
He feels pretty decent.
Does he? Got not a real big one, Chase, but you are starting your comeback, buddy.
Yeah. Gotta work on the size category, though.
Yeah. Well, you know, everybody's got to start someplace. Here we go. Here he goes.
Today we've been using Northland Rock Runner bottom bouncers using two different techniques. The first technique has been Northland prepackaged spinners. Holographic rainbow color is what we've been using. The second technique has just basically been a number 2 size Aberdeen hook with a crawler strung on it. Both techniques have worked. We've caught a lot of fish, except for it seemed that the Aberdeen hook produced just slightly more. So we decided to do a little customization to the spinner. So what we did to customize the spinner is basically use 15-pound Vanish leader material, 2 number 4 Mustad hooks, and Bass Pro XPS spinner and body. The big difference here is we used this slightly smaller spinner blade to see how that would attract more fish, you know, with a smaller presentation than what we had been using in the past. Now let me show you how we hook up the crawler. Basically all you want to do is with the lead hook go about 1/8 of an inch through the nose of the crawler. With the second hook, you just want to go just below the collar and just slide it right in. You might want to pinch the tail off an inch, inch and a half. If you're catching 1.5 to 2.5 pound fish. For bigger fish, just leave the tail on.
You know, Chase, in the last couple of years, you seem to be putting the technique stuff together. You look forward to competing against the old man next year in the circuit?
Competition-wise, I've been extremely competitive my whole life. I love competition, and there'd be nothing better than if I could beat both you and Keith in a tournament. You know, it would feel great, and I know that both of you would, you know, be helping me to do it, but I look forward to giving it a shot. I got one, Dad, I got one.
Do you?
Yeah.
How does he feel?
Feels pretty good. Looks like I'm coming back a little bit, huh?
Yeah, I'd say.
Showing a fierce display of my walleye catching ability here.
Oh, man. Fierce display.
It's a pretty nice one.
Sometimes I wonder why I spawned you. Yeah, it's a good one. It's a real good one. Here you go, fatty. Fat, 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 fat. Fierce display of that, man.
They say that leaves don't fall far from the tree.
There he goes.
And it looks like the competitive drive that's made Gary Parsons such a threat in the walleye world has been passed on to son Chase.
Yeah, this is a pretty decent fish, Chase.
As you can see, their lives have been a world of competitive fun and sharing that should serve this father-son partnership for many years to come.
Oh, there we go.
Oh, he's a pretty nice fish.
No, it's a bass.
Huh?
It's a bass.
It's a bass?
Yep.
You sure?
Yep.
Are you sure?
I can tell by the way its head's shaking. Our bull.
You are the man. It's a terrible thing that you have to take abuse like this. How do you feel?
Feels all right.
Okay. Oh, man. You're keeping me busy now.
Oh.
Yes! Chase Parsons, multi-species angler.
And whenever you're ready.
All right, we still going? All right.
You blew me away last winter when you said you wanted to be a pro fisherman. What you thinking there? What were what's your reasons?
Sorry. That was, God, you sounded like you were me.
Gary and Chase stayed at the Best Western Franklin Square Inn. For great accommodations on Michigan's Keweenaw Peninsula, give them a call at 888-487-1700 or visit them on the web at HoughtonLodging.com. To get outfitted for Keweenaw walleyes, stop by Superior Bait and Tackle, located on Highway 41 in Chassell, Michigan, or call them at 906-523-4944. The Next Bite is a production of Marine Grade Marketing.